So I will just introduce quickly what we will present today. Me, I'm Alexi. I'm managing sales for Boostmyshop, and today I'm with Rita, as you can see, head of partnership of Shiptheory. And we will discuss about strategy for growing e-business in another country. I don't know if you want to say something about the topic of today, Rita.
Yeah, of course. So my name's Rita. Like I said, yeah, I do partnerships here at Shiptheory. So we are an automated shipping solution. So primarily connecting online retailers to your carriers globally. So I think combined with myself and Alexis, hopefully we're going to give you some informative information on how to actually enhance your already existing cross-border sales process, or if you're just starting out, hopefully give you some insights into how you can begin to actually attack the scary world that is cross-border shipping, because it's not so scary once you delve into it.
Great. Thank you, Rita. Just to introduce quickly, Boost My Shop. We are provider of solution for emissions. Two solutions that I will introduce to you probably at the end of this presentation. Um, by my side, I will start by this topic: how to scope your cross-border opportunities on marketplaces to grow business online. So to effectively develop business overseas, marketplaces obviously could serve as an excellent channel to benchmark the market and reach new customers. So if your products basically are available on a foreign marketplace, you will know that there is a demand for your products in that product. Also, you can analyze your current customer base. Obviously, if you have already clients in another country, it could help you to target your country by analyzing your sales history. You can determine, obviously, countries where your products have the most success, and also invest on this market for expansion. Third thing, market research. You have to do market research, obviously, to know, to consider the size of the e-commerce in this market. Like we can see on the graph on the right, so we can see that China and US are leading the market from far. But this is not the only criterion you should take into account. The growth of the market is also crucial. For example, here you can see the market is prominent in USA and China, but the biggest growth is clearly in Asia or South America, in Singapore, Indonesia, Philippines, India, Argentina, and Australia for the sixth first markets in growth. Um, you also have to understand the customer expectation, not only analyze the market, the size or the growth, but what customer expect in those country and the necessary resources you have to invest in those country in the financial way or human way. And you have to consider and to adapt your website, your behavior with language barrier and all difficulties uh, which will be involved in investing in this market as investment in content. And this is really crucial to take this into account because it's a significant investment key which may lead to increase sales, but also not. So it's really important to all costs to account and particularly related to language and culture barrier. And also something which is specific to one country, it's the different regulation. It can vary a lot according a country, and you really have to understand those requirements before entering in a new market to avoid any legal issue. So to summarize this part, it is really easier to analyze a new market through marketplaces, because you probably know, you probably already have some products on which you sell, and you can minimize your investment while testing your potential on a new market. And it is easier to translate the product offer than an entire website. So after analyzing and testing the market, it is necessary to evaluate the investment required to work in the market and its profitability. Sorry. So once you have targeted a market and marketplaces, you should analyze your competition. And in this goal, you can use Google Shopping. It's present in all countries to obtain a comprehensive overview of competitor pricing, delivery time, efficiency. Indeed, Google aggregates, all prices available in one country, including the prices on marketplaces. So Google can give a really good overview of a market. Uh, you can in this way know prices practiced on this market, and if you can be competitive with currency exchange. It's important to consider this rate in the calculation, because if the currency in the country is decreasing in value compared to your currency, your products will be more expensive. Conversely, if your currency is increasing compared to your currency, they will pay less for your product. It is essential to keep an eye on the global currency market. Then when you consider all those points, you have to test the market. Maybe you can begin by introducing several products or few sales channels, possibly your bestseller, to determine whether investing time and money in the market is relevant. And last points, optimize your listing or for the marketplace or the market to ensure they are tailored to a specific marketplace and a country in which you are selling. This may require translation of the listing into local language, adaptation of product description to local preferences, or optimization of keywords for local search. And to conclude my part, there are many software solutions available that can assist you with those tasks and even automate certain processes. So if you are interested to explore your potential online outside the UK, at Boostmyshop, we are offering a tool that can analyze competition on various channels, such as pricing, delivery time, shop rating. And if you decide to start selling on one or several channels, our tool can just adjust your price automatically on those marketplaces according, obviously, your margin needs and even on your own website. I will just now give the words to Rita, and she will be able to share material. Sorry.
Thank you.
I will do, okay. This is your...
Great. Yeah, thank you so much, Alexis. Yeah, it's everything that you covered there is super important, and I mean, it's an important place to start when you are sort of exploring your current, maybe even your current strategy to, if you're currently trying to or shipping cross-border. There's a lot of different elements that you need to consider with optimization and with actually, you know, ensuring the products that are listed have the right, you know, languages, currency, etc. I think that's one of the most daunting things about actually moving, you know, into different marketplaces or areas and countries across the world, is that there's a bunch of different things you have to try and consider. But if you have the right support from a solution that knows what they're doing, then, you know, you'll definitely be able to work with them and achieve that. So yeah, thanks, Alexis. I think one of the things that I wanted to sort of run through with everyone is, you know, basically how shipping and logistics is going to enable you to achieve a cross-border kind of compliance in doing that. Now, bear with me 1 minute. Let me just get up my screen. I've lost you 1 second. Okay. Sorry, I lost the screen there. So there's a few different ways. I'm going to break it down for you into sort of 6 different ways in which you can manage your shipping and ensure that you're supplying your customers with the right level of service, whilst also saving time and saving costs, and actually following all of the compliances that are required to cross-border ship. So the first one is choosing the right shipping partners. Now, this is a really important one, even if doing domestic shipping as well. The best thing to do is to shop around, speak to a bunch of different carriers, speak to other retailers, other merchants, anyone within the e-commerce and logistics space, and get an idea as to who it is that can help you. Okay, so the best way to look at the areas that they can help you in is what services do they offer that are going to meet your needs as a business. So do you need an express service? Do you need a fragile goods service? What services do you need as a business? And then shop around and speak to all of the providers that actually offer those services and see what it is that they are going to give you. Okay, so really tailor it to your needs. Obviously, costs is a massive one that kind of will stress you out or your customers out. You want to really find out the costs that each service is actually going to be and it's going to impact, how long things are going to take to actually arrive. And then with the customer service side of things, this aligns well with the managing your customer expectations. So when you're actually promoting the cost of your delivery or the length of time that your product is going to take to actually arrive, you want to make sure that you're actually managing that closely, and your shipping partner is actually adhering to whatever it is that they've promised. One good thing to do is potentially, again, ask around or check on reviews from that carrier, see if they do actually adhere to their delivery times, see what other merchants and retailers are actually saying before you commit to them. It's a very good indicator as to whether the business, the carrier and what they're saying, they're actually following through with and doing is looking at reviews. Also, it's very common nowadays, and I would say it's very important to probably have multiple carriers that you use. You never know when something could go wrong or something could disrupt. In the UK here, we've had strikes recently, or cross-border, there could be cross-border strikes, anything that could affect you as a merchant. You want to kind of uphold your delivery services and shipping services that you're offering. So having multiple carriers to fall back on is definitely a strategic move. And Alexis kind of touched on this a little bit when it comes to reviewing your competitors' pricing, when it comes to the products that you're offering, etc. You should do the exact same when it comes to shipping costs. So have a look at the shipping costs that they're offering. Generally, when a consumer's purchasing, and everyone here has probably had this at some point, you would assume that you maybe get free shipping if you spend over a certain amount, or if it's cheaper to get shipped to from a certain destination, you're going to go with a competitor. So it's worth really seeing who your competitors are within the market in those regions, and then working out how you can undercut them in one way or another. It doesn't necessarily have to be on cost. You might offer something a little bit extra to enable your customers to say, oh, I want to actually shop from these, so it's essential for you to do that. And then the third point on this slide is understanding the customs and duties compliances. So again, this is a case of going away and learning from whoever has those capabilities. So I know there's a bunch of third-party compliance services that you can work with who will just manage everything for you. Or to actually go away and learn it yourself, it's not too hard once you know where you're going to be shipping to and what's required to actually ship across that border. So for those of you that don't know, to ship across most borders, you'll require commodity information against each of your products, potentially a IOSS number, an EORI number, VAT number. So a lot of different things that are required to actually ship cross-border. But as long as you know where you're shipping and what is needed, then your shipping partners, so the carriers that you're working with, or if you work with another third-party compliance service, they should be able to help you and kind of help you give you the confidence to actually just go ahead and start, shipping cross-border. And then your customers that are purchasing off you, they're not going to have any issues of things getting stopped or delayed. So it's important for you to know exactly what is needed to ship those products and where to. And then just go to the next slide here. Thank you, Alexis. So, and then just 3 more points when it comes to actually shipping. So I've given you an overview of how you kind of take a step back and what you need to learn to actually execute. Now, a few other key things that are going to enable you to ship efficiently, effectively, and continue to get your customers coming back to you is automating. So automation is key in probably a lot of the workflow that everyone here already has in place. But automating things can actually streamline your process extremely effectively. It can get rid of any manual intervention that's required. So, no one wants to sit and type in names and addresses for hours and hours every day, or, I'm sure, again, there's people who used to write out customs documents or CM2223s. It's a long old process, and it leaves a lot of room for human error. And this means that you might not even know till it's left the door, but stuff's going to get stopped at customs. You'll have to take the fee as the retailer, or your consumer, the customer's going to have to pay something. So all in all, automating the process as much as you can is going to enable you to spend more time on doing things that are going to grow your revenue and allow you to focus on strategic moves within the e-commerce space cross-border. Managing customer expectations. So I touched on this a little bit on the last slide there. So this is really being transparent and open and honest with your customers that you're selling to. Nobody wants to be told, your product's going to be with you in 5 days and it comes in 12 days. There's absolutely no way that your customer's going to purchase something from you again, and they're probably going to pass that on, maybe leave a review. So it's going to have a really bad backlash on the service that you're offering. So managing those expectations and giving realistic timeframes and cost to what the service is you're offering is going to help you retain customers. It's going to build your brand loyalty, and it's going to allow you to continue growing in those areas that you've expanded to across the globe. And this is the final point is to do with returns. And Alexis will talk about this again a little bit more in the next few slides. But it does align well with the customer expectations and customer service side of your business. And so there's a lot of customers that will actually, I think it's 60% of customers will only ever consider buying from you if you have a good returns policy in place. So the key thing to do is to ensure that your returns policy is very clear. So when is it that you will accept returns? And when is it that you won't accept returns? Then to be able to manage that policy, to have a system in place in which your customers can go to manage their returns. So having a returns portal is an extremely efficient way to streamline that process. So a returns portal, for example, that you can just your customer can pop their order number in, they can say why they're returning the item, and it gives them a label instantly. That sort of process for the customer in terms of the experience that they're getting is going to, again, just streamline that process and give you, that customer's going to return and give you, again, reviews. They're going to come back, they're going to purchase from you again. That if you have a returns portal and they're returning a certain product, you can actually start to see trends as to why certain products might be being returned. Is it the packaging? Is it that there's not a demand in that region? So returns actually, even though they seem a little bit frustrating because of cost and time and an extra thing to manage, it's actually, you're allowing yourself to grow as a brand by listening to your customers and understanding what the demands are within the market. So returns is definitely an important one to offer on top of everything else.
Okay.
Perfect. So Alexis.
Thanks, Rita. Thanks for the transition, because obviously, return and meet customer expectation. are important, crucial point to optimize your customer satisfaction, and it's the next topic. Um, just before, I wanted just to tell to our attendees that if they want to ask some question, they just have a menu below, and they can just ask question for the end, and we will be delighted to answer them at the end of this webinar. So to get back to the presentation, how to optimize customer satisfaction. Um, Obviously, as Rita was saying, you have to have clear and great return policy, but you also have to avoid the maximum to have return, especially when it's cross-border sales. In 2020, consumer returns product worth 428 billion, which represent 10% sales and a real cost of 100 billion, a little more, 101 billion. This underscores the importance of offering high quality product, obviously, that meets customer expectation, as Rita was saying, but as well answering your customer are receiving exactly what they have ordered to avoid returns. This is particularly sorry, significant, as I said, for cross-border, as handling return can be very expensive, much more than a local return, same country with a local carrier. Um, to address this, obviously your products must offering a clear description adapted, as I was saying before, to the country you are targeting, and included as much as accurate information as possible, such as, I don't know, image. The must is a video. If you can present your product with video, it will convert much more. Sizing guide or other relevant detail. So if in one end marketplaces are good and cheap way to analyze, target, and start on a new market, on the second end, they take an average 15% commission on your sales. So once you know that a market could be profitable, you should develop your own website, customize for the market. And to make it easy for your customer to find and purchase, you have obviously to work on your website. It should be organized clearly with an easy search function with clear categories or a simple checkout process. And since many purchases are done through a mobile phone or a tablet, it's essential to optimize your website for mobile use, enabling customer to buy through their tablet phone, as I was saying, because we know that many sales are done during lunch break with the phone or just before sleeping. So it's very important to optimize the website for devices like phone. Also, you have to customize your customer experiences. So you can use the client's data to offer some product recommendation when they are navigating on your website, or if you are sending them newsletter. You can offer them special discounts, target them, as I was saying, during an email campaigns. Um, and it's important to enhance the customer loyalty as well. Um, and about customer loyalty, you can also implement a customer loyalty program with rewards, discount, or other incentive for repeat purchase, which can also be effective. About the customer support, it's important, and the same as providing clear policy for return. It's important to have a real support to first push to a purchase. If a client has question about the product, it's important to answer him very quickly in order to push him to buy your products. And also, if they need a support because they did not receive the good parcel, because they have any issue with their parcel, it's necessary to have a great customer services to work quickly. You can see on the graph on the top that most part of customer, so more than 85% expect a return before 30 days. So it's important to take it into account, especially when delivery time will increase because of the cross-border sales. So 23% up to 14 days and 62% up to 30 days. So like 85% expect before 30 days. Also, regardless of the refund type or retailer, uh, some 62% of customer expect, as I told you, this exchange. And to optimize this time of shipping, you have also to optimize your order preparation, and also it will help you to avoid a mistake and decrease return. So you can use software solutions that allow you to streamline the own process and to improve your picking process, your to check last time your product before shipping it. Uh, and the last part, track your shipments and optimize this delivery time. So Rita was saying about about choosing several carrier, for example. Um, but you can also, as I told you, streamline all your logistic process. Next slide. About logistic, there is obviously the order preparation process, which is time consuming, but it could make a bigger issue if you do not have stock. And we can see that the average minimum availability for an e-shop is between 19% and 23.5% of their listing. And for 73% of the buyer, this is the biggest frustration. So really, it's really important to optimize stock. Okay. So first, you have to display the real information of stock on your website or on the marketplaces. Because if you have mistake on your own website, and if you have order which you can't ship, it will create so much frustration and obviously decrease the customer satisfaction. So to avoid this kind of situation, you can obviously use some kind of software, an interface to manage your whole stock, your whole sales on the same interface. If you have several warehouses, if you have several e-shop, especially if you have an e-shop translated in several language, you should import orders and stock on the same platform to have a management on the same platform and not have different channel which are decreasing your stock or and make you create mistake of your stock and create frustration to your for your customer. Also, to avoid this kind of issue about stock, you have to anticipate your stock. So you can anticipate two things about your sales. So you can calculate how many sales you did in a period and how much you can expect. But there is the peak season, so Black Friday, Christmas, or if you selling products which are very dependent of climate season. Obviously, you have to anticipate the summer, so winter. If you're selling, I don't know, snow products, obviously you have to anticipate this whole period. And then, if you are obviously want to sell uh, overseas, you can use different way. For example, you can use a ship from store. If you have a partner store, it it avoids you to have so many stock. It can help you to decrease the delivery time, and many online shoppers are much more confident when the parcel is sent from a close place. So it helps you, it allows you to have stock directly in the country where you want to sell. And for the same reason, you can use drop shipping, which will allow you to decrease your shipping cost and delivery time. It may also decrease your logistic stock cost. Sorry, I'm sorry. It was my last point. So to conclude my part, as I told you, many of these tasks can be automatized. Even the translation, you can use many translator software. But I will talk about mine. So if you are seeking for a software solution to streamline your order preparation, back order, ease your supplier relationship, or manage the stock of multiple warehouses in different countries, multiple e-shop in different languages on a single interface or a mobile app, we will be delighted to show you how we can help you to manage your international logistics in partnership with Shiptheory.
Yeah,
Uh,
Alexis. Yeah, I sort of do the same. So, yeah, thank you everyone for sort of listening to our insights into the cross-border shipping world. So yeah, Boostmyshop and Shiptheory have a long-standing integration. So the two solutions together, everything that we said would actually work very well together. It's a super easy plugin. And yeah, with Shiptheory, I think if you were looking to streamline your shipping, or perhaps have multiple carriers in one place, automate the customs documents that are required to ship cross-border, or wanting a centralized hub to actually manage the printing and the tracking, and also to manage your carrier integrations. So I think one of the things that a lot of retailers struggle with is if you have multiple carriers or even just one carrier, perhaps getting hold of them sometimes isn't the easiest, or if something goes wrong, you don't know why because they haven't contacted you. Shiptheory is here to manage that for you. So you know, the next thing, if anything goes wrong, you've got someone direct, a dedicated account manager that you can actually pick up the phone to and say, hey, why is my printer not working? You know, why is, you know, my carrier not replying to my emails? And combined, the two solutions would enhance your service and your delivery of your products together so that you can actually start or continue to more effectively cross-border ship.
okay. Thanks, Rita. I think we have some question. Jacob, which we was asking, do you have anything to say about EPR compliance?
So EPR compliance, so that I believe that's when you is it the packaged goods that you supply within the UK? So with that, I think I'm not too familiar with it myself. I'll be happy to set up a call with one of our technical cross-border compliance staff. They'd be actually run through with it because it's just to do with France, right, and the UK, I believe. What is it specifically that do you have a specific question about it, or you just wanted to know a little bit more about it, or you know, have you been affected by it? What is it specifically? Wait for you to look up.
Maybe he's typing. Okay. So he was answering this.
Okay.
Okay. In any cases, you'll be able to send him an email, whoever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I mean, something else as well we can do at Shiptheory. So anyone that's attending here, we can offer a free trial for you. Initially, it's a 2-week free trial. But if you wanted it to be extended or needed it to be extended, you know, because you need a little bit more time with everything that you've probably got going on the other side of your business, we'd be happy to do that and walk through with you what it is that you need, what it is that you're missing. So if you are missing, say, to ship cross-border, you need commodity information assigned to all of your products, or you need VAT numbers, IOSS numbers, whatever it is that you need to start enabling you to cross-border ship, speak to us. Well, we'll contact you as soon as you sign up anyway. But if you speak to us, we should be able to actually troubleshoot what's missing and give you advice based on you know, all of the experience that we've got firsthand with the cross-border side of things. I just saw I had a reply there.
Yeah.
I don't know the specific consequences. No, thank you for explaining that. Usually, if you aren't compliant, so there's a few things I've learned from our retailers cross-border shipping. So when you're not meeting a certain compliant factor, so whether that's commodity information, so your product data, IOSS number, VAT number, if you're not meeting that requirement, actually now, because it's all automated, your carrier just won't give you a label. So when they book it in, everything gets electronically sent to basically to the border control, so that actually they now scan the label and it just pops up for them to see everything they need to see for that package to pass through the border. So because of that, that's all now embedded within the carrier integrations, which means that when the data gets sent, it will get, you know, rejected if it's not correct. So a lot of the stuff that's required will need to be there before you've even booked the shipment, which is really beneficial because it means that you're not waiting for the shipment to potentially get stopped and then you to get charged or penalized or whatever it is that they've got in place. Because this one, like I said, I don't have much first-hand experience with it. It's quite a new one. But generally, if there's going to be something that's going to be in place, you'll probably get fined. Maybe the product, that the shipment will just get taken to one side and you might not even be notified. It's very, each border control is very different, and I think that it does also depend on who you get at the border. You know, somebody might miss something that someone else doesn't, so you might get away with it one time and not the next time. But it's just not worth taking that risk as a retailer. You want to make sure that you're, again, managing those expectations. You're not getting lumped with fines or penalized for your shipping habits, and that your customer is actually receiving that package. So in terms of the shipping side, if you want to check what is required, if you wanted to use Shiptheory, we'd make sure the team here, the compliance cross-border team, would make sure that you've got everything you need. And if you don't, like I said, it just wouldn't book in with the carrier. And they say what's missing. So they'll say, oh, you're missing this, you're missing that. So you can rest assured that you're probably going to have all of the data that you need to ship if you're automating it through Shiptheory.
Okay, thanks. I don't think we have any more question. I don't know if there is a last one. Otherwise, we can end up with this webinar. Okay. Oh, third. No, no, it's okay. I have
Just saying
nothing.
thanks.
Oh yeah, I have just a thanks. Okay. So thanks you to everyone to be to attend this webinar, and you're gonna receive of course the replay with our contact if you need any more information, and if you forgot to ask a question during this webinar. Happy to see you again, and thanks Sharita as well to be there with me.
Thank you for having me. And yes, I look forward to, if anyone has any further questions, yeah, we're always here to talk through things with you and help you out with whatever you need. So Alexis will send the follow-up, and we'll send all of our contact info so you can reach out to the team and further the chat. And good luck, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a lovely day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.